Thank you for joining the Asheville Rise Stronger Together podcast. This is your host, Jessica Knupp with the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. I hope you enjoy today's episode. This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, True Point Bank. Today we are here with Robert Foster of Virtelle Hospitality. He's the COO, and we are so glad that you were able to join us today.
Yeah, I was excited when I was invited, so I kind of was surprised. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We appreciate all that you guys do for our community and, our tourism and all of the things. So we're so glad to have you. So as you think back about the hurricane, we all went through quite a bit, but I mean, from your standpoint, like what all did you guys kind of have to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first couple of days were a blur.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember a lot of it. I'm guessing, your brain does that for you to kind of block some of the things that are horrific. But, I think the very first reaction, because we're in hospitality, is we think about people.
Right.
And, that was the first thing is how are our guests? How are our employees? Mostly our employees. We wanted to make sure we knew a lot of them live in the Swannanoa area, and our big concern was, are they safe?
Right.
How do we get them out of their areas, get them, kind of settled in and get back to kind of normal as quick as we could.
Right.
We didn't know at that time what that meant.
Right.
So, that was the big push, was doing that. And then it shifted from there. Once we kind of felt comfortable, our employees were good. We got kind of our head count, everybody was safe. And a lot of them could make it to work. So then our goal was to be sure our hotel could function at a level that could take care of the people that were coming in to help. So it was FEMA workers.
Right.
So we had a lot of the guys that had rolled in with the rescue boats that were pulling people out of rivers and all that. And we really found that at one of our hotels to be the major purpose of the building, and the people, our staff wrapped around that so quickly. Right. It was amazing. I mean, I remember my first day walking back into the hotels because I couldn't get back to my hotels for the first day or two.
Wow.
And when I walked in and at the Holiday Inn Biltmore West, our team was out making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's all they could make.
Right.
And we didn't have anything else right now. Our kitchen's closed. They had made cowboy coffee. They had, peanut butter and jellies, and they were serving all these people. And everybody was just so appreciative. Any other day, if that's what you were serving at a nice hotel, that would be a challenge. But that day, it was a treat. So they our team already knew what to do. I mean, it was, I was so emotional. Every hotel I walked into, there was a story like that.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times I cried that day going to each property, and just, it wasn't sad. I was very proud of the people we are surrounded by.
As you should be.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
They were incredible. So we had a little bit of everything staying in our building. So that was kind of those were the first days, of the whole process. And from there, it just got interesting. Yeah. Every day it was something new and different.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you have water? Do you have power?
Right.
So you checked on your employees. How many employees do you guys?
We have about probably about 140 during that time period, because we were getting ready to walk into a beautiful fall season.
Fall.
We were going to be busy, and so it was. We have a pretty good sized staff then.
Yeah. So once you have checked on that, like from a perspective of guests, like what does that look like in the moment, like that, like Friday or something? Yeah.
So the first couple of days, everybody was trying to figure out what to do. Our guests were trying to figure out, can I get out?
Can I get home?
Can I go home, or am I stuck here for a little while? You had people that were rolling in, and we were trying to figure out how to get rooms, because our systems are down, and so we're manually checking every room to be sure we know who's in which room again, to make sure our systems were right. Kind of going into that manual mode of an old-fashioned hotel, right? Where you're hanging the keys.
The keys on the little bar that has the numbers on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So kind of went through all that, and then once we got there, most of our guests, either the people that needed to leave left, and they were very appreciative of just the safe place they had for the few days, and then the rush of everybody coming in to start supporting the city started rolling in. We started getting calls from the city and the county and different places saying, hey, can you house the guys that all came in with the big water tankers to start hooking up to the hospitals and things like that. And again, FEMA was there with us at West for quite some time. And so it really kind of shifted into how do we, without power and without water at first, how do we make sure our guests, these new guests that know what they're walking into.
Right. They're used to doing this type of thing. We were not, but
but what we wanted to do, our team, I didn't have to say a word, but our team was like, we want to exude our appreciation for all these people coming to help right now. And so they did. I mean, our teams, the FEMA guy would call me and he's like, this is such a difficult task for us. We're having a rough day every day, and it's this retreat at the end of the day of being able to come back to the hotel, and all your employees are wrapped around us and they're jumping through hoops for us to make us comfortable. They're like, we don't want you to do that. We're supposed to be here helping you. And I said, well, that's just, it's helping us.
Yeah.
Allowing us to have a purpose right now is important. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's just a nature of our area. Like, that's just how we are.
Absolutely.
Very giving and very accommodating, and we are used to welcoming people from everywhere and not necessarily needing the help, but then we had to kind of turn.
I think we had a hard time with that at first. I think we were kind of ornery about that. Like, we're going to do this on our own, and then we realized it was much bigger than any of us had realized.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you guys kind of look at that, going through all of this, is there anything that you kind of adapted from that? Like maybe it's I know there's another way to get in there, but like the electronic doors, I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, like we were talking about keys, but like, do they even have keys anymore?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys have been able to adapt at your properties to?
Yeah, I think the big thing is having the list of resources. You think about, if you're going to call out things that happen that are now something that we have in our emergency books, because we have emergency directions for almost anything that could happen in a building or in a city. This wasn't one of them. Light flooding, hard rain, loss of power, those are all normal, but this was bigger than that. So having resources like, we had a gentleman by the name of Corey with Guest Supply. He's the guy that delivers all of our sheets, blankets, towels, shampoo, all that.
Yeah.
He rolled in with a truck, ABHA, which is the Asheville Buncombe Hotel Association, put together a game plan with him. He reached out, and he brought a huge 18-wheeler in for all the hotels to get supplies.
Really?
Cisco, our food purveyor, they found a way to, went clear around route to get here, but got in with food. And they were calling us and connecting. So now we have all those resources listed. Like locks, our locks are battery operated, and our key system, all hotels have a backup set of keys for the doors. So
good to know.
Everything goes down. We actually have an emergency set of keys that work, and we have masters to get in if we need to. So the key thing isn't as big of a challenge as electricity. Having a water tanker company hook up to our hotel was a godsend. The first few days our staff was shoveling water out of the swimming pool for people to use to flush toilets and things like that. And you don't ever think about things like
you
that
really don't.
until this happens. But FEMA was pumping water out of our pool for their needs, and we were using it. Thank goodness we have swimming pools that are full in October. So.
One of my friends mentioned that she was so glad that they hadn't closed theirs down yet, because that's what they had to use.
It was a saving grace. And again, I walk in and my staff's already doing all this. It was just it was amazing. Yeah.
So obviously you guys are serving a community kind of in a different way, because like you said, people coming in. Were there any resources that you guys were also then able to kind of help out in the community? You were doing so much already, but...
Yeah, Himanshu Karveer, our owner and CEO, he did a great job we connected with the water tanker company. He paid to have a tanker moved down to where our Quality Inn was. It still is there, but we don't own that property any longer. But we had that down there with food trucks one day. Kind of utilized that. Guest Supply delivered additional food. We ordered a lot of things that were shelf stable because we didn't know when refrigeration and everything was going to come back. And we used that. At that property, we actually housed all the homeless vets for ABCCM. And that was another it's another podcast story, but it was phenomenal how all these homeless veterans were just, we got to open up our doors for them, get them protected. They had lost all their items.
Right.
So we started working with ABCCM on, equipment drives, clothing. It was overwhelming. We had churches from Minnesota arriving with handmade quilts for these guys, and we were barbecuing hot dogs and hamburgers every day outside. I got country western singers to show up and play music for them. I mean,
Wonderful.
it was just amazing, the outpouring of the community, and just a little bit of everybody. It was incredible.
I know it just, again, like we said, it just goes back to kind of the sense of community that we already had, but I think it's even stronger now through what we went through.
Yeah.
I know you guys are very involved with the chamber, and we appreciate it so much. Talking about the properties, where exactly are those in Asheville?
Sure. So, I have 2 hotels at the Outlet Mall,
Mm-hmm.
the Holiday Inn Express and the Comfort Suites. Then we have the Holiday Inn Biltmore West, which is on Smoky Park Highway, and then the Element just right here by the tunnel.
Yeah.
And all 4 of them stayed open through the storm and became a shelter for a lot of people. So it was amazing. But talking about being a member of the chamber, I mean, the chamber really played a huge role in pulling everybody together. I mean, them, and then if you look at Explore Asheville, Vic, Kit, all those people, they were such amazing advocates, and really helped us get things moving quickly. And then once we got everybody safe, then starting to talk about the economy coming back, because everybody has to have jobs after this,
Right.
and all these small businesses have to get back on their feet. And the ABHA, which is the Hotel Association, we weren't focused on the hotels as much as we were focused on small restaurants,
Right.
and all those, because we know that was a much more fragile thing, and it's also what makes Asheville unique. All these cool little restaurants and attractions
That's what people
and things
come
to
for.
do. So getting the Blue Ridge Parkway back, that was gigantic.
That was
for
a
fall.
big deal.
And you got to believe somebody bigger than us gave us the best fall season we've had in 50 years this year. You think about it, it was it kind of feels like the turning point, I think, in some.
From a tourism standpoint, I mean, like you just said, the fall was wonderful. Like, are you guys seeing those people seeing our tourists coming back and telling those stories? Like, we're open for business.
We were hoping, for very good reasons, we've been focused on the storm and what happened. And I think the good news is we've kind of turned a corner. If you drive down through the city now, there's very few signs anymore of it. And I know out in the rural areas, they're still working really hard and to get back on their feet. But I think we had a good October. It wasn't what we're used to, but we're spoiled brats when it comes to the amount of business for October. So, but we had a lot of people that have never been to Asheville in their lives, and they came because they wanted to support the city. So there's a lot of great human beings in this world. I've just been meeting people from all over that have never been here, and they're coming back. And so if there's a silver lining, we've got a whole new audience to start coming to Asheville.
I think you're right. Coming into work, I see Minnesota, Wisconsin. Those licenses. I've been here for 6 years, and I've parked in the same spot every day, and I've never seen those license plates before, and it's just great. It's so unfortunate what happened to our community, but getting, some more exposure and people knowing that they can get here, we are open. It's just so important to be able to show our city off.
And then you look at like sporting events. The SoCon is bringing a lot of their events here, and I feel like people are making an effort to try to get us back on our feet, with Janet Cohn from UNCA to, again, Vic and the Sports Authority. All those groups are doing a great job of bringing business in and growing it until we get all the visitors back. And so that's good stuff. And talking to restaurant owners, they had a good October. They're having a better October. They're seeing visitors back. And everybody locally should be very happy to hear that. Because we don't want to lose our great restaurants. And this small business spirit is in this town is what makes us amazing.
No, you're right. We have Asheville Restaurant Week will be kicking off in January, and
Can't
we
wait.
actually we last year added a second week in February. So we'll have those dates on our website.
Good. And
they also, like, the adding February in was something we did last year to help support.
Yeah.
And, it's so great to see our community, and that's when the locals really are able to participate. And get out and come and try something new. And
they should do everything they can to support the small businesses. Yeah. We don't want to become chain business USA.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you would like to share with us today about your experience or anything else? Any stories?
Well, I think, the big things are, I'm lucky to work for a great company that supported their employees from the beginning, supported me in helping get the business back into our buildings quickly. I'm lucky to live in a community that is amazingly resilient and committed. We couldn't have done it. I don't think there's a lot of cities that would have recovered like we have. I think we're pretty unique and amazing. And I firmly believe that we will be an example for years to come for others to follow.
I think so. I think you're absolutely right.
But it's hard to duplicate the people here.
Yeah.
You can have the plan book, but you've got to have the people to do it. And we definitely are blessed to have a ton of people in this community that are committed. So yeah.
And we appreciate you on the from the chamber. You've hosted many of our mega networking events, amongst other things. But that's always a wonderful time, and we appreciate all that you guys do for us at the chamber as well. So if anybody is looking, to host an event or something as they're local, or if you're listening from afar and are thinking about coming to Asheville, how can they find out one of your properties?
The best thing to do is to go to our website.
Okay.
So it's just www.virtelle.com.
Okay.
And it lists all of our hotels, and you can get in touch with our sales team for events and group meetings, family reunions, whatever. And then you can click right into any of our hotels to book a room. We love it.
Yeah.
We love the room nights, and you're going to find a staff that is very excited and thrilled to have people back and visiting. So.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you again, Robert, for being on with us. We appreciate all your stories and all that you guys have done in the community. And thank you again.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you to the Chamber for all the support. I have no problem ever participating in things like this and supporting the Chamber because they're amazing.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed today's episode, like, comment, and subscribe. To learn more about joining the Asheville Chamber, scan the QR code on your screen or visit ashevillechamber.org. Until next time.